So, hello and welcome to another Chinese takeaway lunchtime cook along. Still looking at recipes from my Chinese takeaway in 5 cookbook. Today I'm cooking my mushroom noodle soup. Now there are only 5 ingredients, but one of the ingredients is called a stir fry sauce. So if you pop into your local supermarket or even an Oriental supermarket, you can pick up what is a bottle of stir fry sauce, or you can make your own. So the first thing that we're going to do today is make our own stir fry sauce. For this, we're going to need some oyster sauce, some Shaoxing rice wine, or dry sherry, or even red wine you'll probably get away with, some light soy sauce, some dark soy sauce, and some sesame oil. I've put the oyster sauce in a larger bowl, and to this, I'm going to add some Shaoxing wine, some light soy sauce, some dark soy sauce, and lastly, for that nutty note at the end of the soup, we're just going to add some sesame oil. So I'll just get all of that in. I'll pop these over onto one side, and we're going to give this stir fry sauce a really good mix. Now, if you don't have stir fry sauce, you pretty much can get away with just doing oyster sauce, maybe a little bit of sesame oil if you've got it. The wine is additional, it just makes the soup a little bit more luxurious. So if you do have rice wine or dry sherry or wine, I think it makes a big difference. And you can see that there's my stir fry sauce ready now. Okay, we're going to need about 3-ish tablespoons for this recipe. Also as well, I'm not using pre-soaked noodles, so we're actually just going to soak our noodles. So for the actual soup noodle part of it, it says mushroom noodle soup, so we've got some mushrooms, some spring onions if you want to garnish the dish at the end, and then some noodles. So these will take about 3 or 4 minutes in boiling water. So I just need to get my water back up to the boil. So I'm going to pop in my noodle nests. And literally, once they've softened, we'll transfer them into serving bowls and they'll be pretty much ready to eat when we are. My soup is already coming up to the boil. So I'm going to add roughly 3 tablespoons. So that's about 2 and 3. And we'll try the taste in a second. So that's chicken stock and 3 tablespoons of my stir fry sauce that I've just made for you guys, okay? Now to this, obviously I'm going to need some mushrooms. If you like your mushrooms more chunky, chop them chunkier. I'm going to do slices. I think it eats nicer, especially if you're eating with a pair of chopsticks and a spoon. So just take your time with this, guys. All right, in go my mushrooms. I turn the heat back up again. I'll give my noodles a bit of a stir. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see how the noodles are now softening. Now I like my noodles a little bit bony or al dente, but that's up to you. Obviously if you like it softer, just leave them in the water longer. But I reckon about 3 minutes and they should be done. Let's give our soup a bit of a mix. And you just want the mushrooms to soften. So this will only take about a minute or 2 once the soup comes back up to the boil. And then we'll check the seasoning. Now, additional seasonings we can use because they're part of our store cupboard essentials are salt, white pepper and sugar. So we'll just give that a bit of a taste. So far this is just chicken stock and stir fry sauce. So I think that definitely needs a little bit of white pepper because it's nice just to have a little bit of background heat. So I'm adding 2 pinches for a start. I think the saltiness is all right. I'm just going to add a little tiny bit. And like I said, the sugar, I feel it just adds a different depth of flavour. So I'm going to add in about a teaspoon of sugar. When you're cooking this at home, guys, please do it to your own tastes. Obviously, my taste is going to be a little bit different to yours. Let's just give that a stir in. Give that another try. Okay, so I'm switching the stock off. I'm switching the noodles off. Just before I serve, I'm just going to take a few chunks of spring onion. Again, you can cut these as fine as you wish. I'm going to leave them chunky because after I dress the dish and before I eat the dish, I'm going to pick them out because I'm not a fan of spring onions. Now I'm going to take a portion of my noodles, and you don't need to drain these. Remember, we're adding soup straight on top of this. So we're going to add some noodles into my serving bowl. I'm going to grab my Chinese ladle. So I need to take a ladle of soup and obviously the mushrooms. And then we want to garnish this with a few spring onions just on the top. And there we have it, guys. My mushroom noodle soup. Let me try this and I'll let you know how it is. Now that's a nice light lunch. Got some mushrooms and some soup. That's really nice. That sounds surprised, but it is really nice. Please give it a go, guys.